Here at MediaBrains, we've got a fantastic session, action-packed for you. Everything you needed to know or need to know now about B2B reviews. Slightly different from B2C reviews. We're going to talk about B2B reviews, and we have a wonderful guest today, Mr. Jacob Buckheit, Director of Product at MediaBrains. Hi, Jacob. How are you?
Hi, Joe. I'm great. How are you?
I'm very well. And where are you calling in from for today? Where are you based?
I am based in Naples, Florida. So,
Naples, Florida. Well, I'm sure the weather is much nicer than it is here in Amsterdam, where it's absolutely miserable outside, grey and rainy. So hopefully we're going to bring some of that Florida sunshine to everyone. We've got people
yes.
who have joined us from all over the States and even beyond to understand reviews. And I believe you've got something that you're going to show them later, Jacob. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right. So, super excited.
Okay, so let's get on to our contents for today. We're going to talk about everything reviews, if that's not clear to you already. We're going to talk about the importance of reviews, have a look at some data. We at MediaBrains have scoured the internet, looked at loads of research and data, white papers, stats, figures, and we've brought them all here for you, one kind of package so you can kind of get a good overview of the landscape of B2B reviews. Negative reviews, we all want to know what to do about them. How bad is a negative review for your business? Is it different in the B2C space as it is in the B2B space? How do we build a review-based reputation? So this is the kind of building blocks, how we can improve not only our review volume, but our review quality. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, review volume and quality. Media Brains, we're going to have Jacob join us for that section, and he's going to talk about what we do at Media Brains. A little demonstration of our new platform for reputation management. We're very excited to show you that. And then a little recap to finish. Now, as I showed you, my name is Joseph O'Brien. I'm a brand consultant. I finished my MBA a couple of years ago at the University of Liverpool. I help organizations with their demand marketing strategies as well as their leadership. And I'm really, really happy to be running this seminar today. And if you have any questions about reviews, reputation management, about our tool, we can't promise you we have every single answer out there, but we'll definitely try to get to some of your questions. Also, we'd like to hear where you're from. If you're tuning into this webinar today, where have you tuned in from? From what company are you coming from? And what's kind of one of your biggest review goals or review challenges that you might have at the moment? What are you looking to achieve to get better reputation management? I'd love to hear some of your stories. If you're out there today, please send them into the chat box, and our moderator producer will file them over to me, and hopefully we can get to some of those as well. So let's get started. The importance of reviews. We're going to look at how reviews improve our business and some interesting stats and data therein. Now, we're all here for one reason, and that's to look at how reviews can improve and influence the buying decisions of our customers and clients. And this is the first point we're going to look at today. Now, reviews are actually a critical first point of contact in the decision-making process. So if you have a look at this graph here from the Harvard Business Review that we've got, it says customers encounter predictable impediments at each buying stage, and suppliers should really anticipate and remove these to simplify the purchase process. Now, I like to stick to the early stage here. Now, if you scan through the graph, you can see that in the middle, companies have people problems, competing priorities inside their organizations, different criteria for purchasing. And in the late stage, they even have more challenges internally to resolve. But in the early stages of the purchase decision-making process, customers are essentially shopping. They're looking around. And what they're faced with, common obstacles to their purchases. And that common obstacle is a lack of information or not enough information to drive that purchase decision. So really, what can help drive a purchase decision? Reviews. So reviews are really a critical first point of contact in this decision-making process. You can find out that information through a third-party review. It's trustworthy, it's objective information, and it helps you make a decision as a buyer in a business-to-business environment. You have trouble distinguishing between meaningful and irrelevant information. Well, a review can help you with that. You have trouble interpreting or conflicting information. Well, a review can also help you with that. And you have trouble knowing how much information is enough. And reading enough reviews, I think you can find that out about a company as well. Now let's dig a bit more into the complexity. That's what we like to do at MediaBrains. This is a fantastic study that we got from Gardner. And this is the buying decision process table that you see here on the screen on the left. And it's separated into separate buying jobs. Now, buying jobs are non-linear. We review these touch points along the way, and we can remove roadblocks in the decision-making buying process. So B2B buyers, they complete this set of jobs to make a purchase. So let's go through them now. Problem identification, we need to do something. Solution exploration, what's out there to solve our problem. Requirements building, now what exactly do we need the purchase to actually do for our organization? Supplier selection, does this do what we want it to do? Validation, we think we know the right answer, but we need to be sure. And consensus creation, we need to get everybody on board. Now, I would say that pretty much 5 out of 6, I mean, most companies will identify a problem within and go to look for a solution. But most of these buying jobs, problem identification aside, the pipeline of the decision-making process could definitely be greased through a review. So if you're looking for a solution, maybe there's a review that shows how a customer achieved that solution with your product. If you're looking for requirements, maybe there are reviews or testimonials or case studies even that show those requirements. Same for validation, especially for validation, because reviews definitely validate your products. And then to help gain consensus, a lot of people at the company can look at the same reviews, picture it through the same frame, and then make that decision together, which is something called sense making by a theorist called Carl. Now, statistics show that 92% of business-to-business buyers are more likely to purchase something after reading a trusted review. And I don't think it's much different in the B2B, B2C space. I think we're looking for validation. We can certainly find it through trustworthy reviews. So we understand reviews help our business. We understand good reviews and a high volume of them are going to help. But how do they help specifically? And how do they impact our SEO? And I thought this is one of the most fascinating things that I came across in my research for this. This is a slide that reinforces, really, that we can aggregate the best data, put it all into one place. If you look here at the SEO ranking factors, this pie chart shows you some of the factors that contribute towards you rising up the Google rankings and having a high visibility on the first page. If you see here, 15% Google are looking at review signals. 15%, that's quite a lot. Google My Business, all that stuff you see on the right, all that information is very important. It's about a quarter of the game there. And review signals, another 15%. Then you have your links, your one pages. If you look at your social signals, very small there in terms of how they help with your SEO. And I wonder how many of you guys out there in budget making, decision making positions, think of your market budget or your SEO budget like this pie chart. How much of you guys devote your time and energy to your review signals? Is it 15% of your time and budget, or is it less or more? It's certainly something to think about, especially when 15% can be covered simply through putting good reviews everywhere, getting good exposure. But reviews also not only increase customer interest, but also increase conversion, the actual point of sale. Pages with customer reviews drive 3.5 times more conversion than those pages without. And displaying 5 product reviews can increase conversion rates by 270% compared to having no product reviews at all. So it's definitely important that we have reviews as far as we can. Now, okay, so we've got a lot of reviews, fine, but they need to be authentic. And one of the messages of this webinar today really is solicit reviews, but do not purchase reviews. And it's so important that reviews are authentic. And that's why user-generated content in marketing is like gold dust. Getting a user who's enjoyed your services to film a video, to be part of a case study, a testimonial, write a review is absolutely brilliant for your marketing efforts. And 97%, according to the Demand Generation Report survey of B2B buyers, say that user-generated content, like peer reviews, is more credible than other types of content. And it's also cheaper to organize and cheaper to get onto your website. Negative reviews. We needed to talk about negative reviews. I think it's important to put negative reviews in context. I mean, certain organizations, especially those in the B2C space, provide services that customers deem vital to their everyday lives. You know, there's transport providers, telecommunication services, hardware. When the bus is not there, you can't go to work. So the stakes are high, and the complaints for these type of companies will be amplified. And the same goes for if a company cannot provide a stable internet service, or for devices that might break. And you tend to have a lot of negative reviews there. But these companies will still be in mass use because we all need these services. So you have to look at the industry in terms of the reputation that the company has and the kind of common problems that that company has. Really, the art of the negative review and dealing with that is in the feedback. The art of dealing with negative reviews is in the feedback. Responding quickly to customer complaints, according to this Harvard Business Review study, makes people willing to pay more in the future. If you show someone that you're solving a problem, if you're transparent about that, they will come back to you. I think we all know that. A study of tweets to airlines shows that when a tweet is answered 5 minutes or later, the customer will pay almost $20 more for a ticket on that airline in the future. You answer your tweet in under 5 minutes. You also have to deliver a consistent tone of voice across your customer feedback and review channels. Saying stuff like, we actively listen, we respond in an efficient and timely manner, and we apologize for our mistakes. That should be every company's mantra. We actively listen to our customers, we respond in an efficient and timely manner to our, and apologize for our mistakes. And you know, who wouldn't listen to that type of response? Now this is interesting. Three out of 4 B2B buyers actually say a negative review helps provide a depth of insight to make an informed decision. Only 33% say would be less likely to make a purchase, but the majority of people, 67%, 2/3 of people, prefer to see a mix of positive and negative reviews. I'm sure you've been on a site where you've seen nothing but positive reviews and you're starting to think, well, how many of these have been dreamt up by the company, or are these employees? And something's a bit fishy, something's a bit off. And you start to lose trust in that brand. And also importantly, ignore the trolls. Ignore the trolls, because if you hear a piece of feedback over and over again, then of course deal with it. But if you hear a small piece of feedback against the tide in isolation, then it's okay to ignore certainly trolls and information that doesn't make sense. So, taking that in mind, looking at the statistics that we have and had a look at the landscape of reviews, how do we actually build that volume and quality for our organization? Let's flash through these. Well, first, we reward our customers for referrals and reviews. This is my favorite slide here. This is the power of EWOM, electronic word of mouth, as a referral-based marketing boost in the form of reviews. Again, I will ask you guys who work in marketing, how much of your budget is skewed to referrals? I mean, this is 1,800 responses here in this survey. 50% almost said that their majority of their new customers come from word of mouth. This means to me that out of that 1,800, there was probably 200, 300, 400 companies that had 90, 80, 90% plus new customers through referrals alone. Online marketing only 17%, but I bet people's budgets don't reflect that. I reckon online marketing is probably a much higher budget, and referrals much less so. But if we started to look at that and started to concentrate on our referrals and reviews, we'd be able to get a lot of new customers to sustain us. So we don't always have to fight the tide with the demand generation marketing assets that we have. We can look at reviews as a way to boost our other efforts and our multi-channel marketing campaigns. Follow up on the negative reviews. So good we had to put it twice. Filter your negative reviews, understand frequent and repetitive pain points in your customer's journey, and then transparently and preemptively implement approved processes to eliminate that area of negative feedback in the future. Huge organizations often separate reviews and surveys by department, to gain better oversight into certain pain points, mitigate high volumes of negativity that might be associated with force majeure, for example, an outage of power. We'll get loads of complaints. Essentially, people might be complaining when the root cause of the issue cannot be resolved or is potentially not caused by the organization itself. So it's imperative that we factor in these pain points and we actively adjust our process to fit in our customer needs and try to remove the bottlenecks that we can so that we can build trust and be authentic to our customers. Now, where do we put reviews? Everywhere in the customer journey where we have a positive result. You've gone and clicked and you've bought something, a product that you've wanted to buy, send them a review. You've had a good exchange with customer service, send a review. You've just watched a video and info session, leave a review. And so half of internet users say they post online reviews at least once a month. So it's no hardship to ask someone to leave a review, and half the people will probably leave one. So it's a very good return. And if we look at marketing in terms of the kind of returns we get, of conversions, of the amount of customers that show interest versus the customers who actually move down the funnel and acquire, 50% is a lot. So if you can get 50% of people that you reach to do an online review, then that's a fantastic conversion rate for that. And when you have that review, display it positively on your website and on your materials. Capitalize on the good reviews through user-generated content and testimonial placement. We have here a couple of good examples. This Dollar Shaving Club, it's more of a B2C business. You can see it's kind of prominently displaying scores, bits of text and reviews there. And if you look at the way that IBM, a B2B company, and a B2C company in certain ways, handles their reviews, they use case studies. I think case studies are also a wonderful way to get yourself out there and to build your reputation. And also you get a lot more detailed insight. You drive people further down the purchase decision process through user case studies. So this takes us to what we at MediaBrains do for our customers and how we navigate this landscape. I'd like to use an analogy that we use for marketing, called the hospital analogy. It's an analogy that highlights our organization's reliance on Google. All of our organizations are reliant on Google, but we see Google really as an emergency room. Everyone has to go through it. They usually enter the hospital that way. But if we as organizations want to truly be healthy or solve existing problems, we need preventative planning as well as treatment, not just to patch up solutions to keep us alive, but to help us thrive. We need the specialists. Businesses need to survive and thrive, and to ensure that they also have good Google exposure as well. So you need to build an ecosystem of total marketing solutions and different things that can help keep your company at the forefront of people's minds whilst building its customer base, reputation, and sales. And that's what we at MediaBrains do. We look at total marketing solutions, look at how we can increase your presence on Google as well as beyond. And I'd like to bring back our fantastic guest for today, Jacob. How are you, Jacob? I hope you enjoyed some of the stats that we shared today. Quite a lot of information. I hope your head isn't spinning.
Yeah, it was great.
Now, I just want to talk a bit about your role. What are you specifically doing right now for MediaBrains? And can you just tell us a bit about what MediaBrains does for customers?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the director of product at MediaBrains. I've been with the company for about a year now. And for about the past 2 months, we've really been working really hard on our new reputation management platform, which I believe we're about to walk through soon.
We are indeed.
So
can you just tell us a bit about, we have here the slide Total Marketing Solutions. It seems like a lot of things that we do. What are our main offerings for our clients?
yeah, for sure. So we specialize in industry directories. So featured listings on our directories, which helps clients connect with potential customers. We also have a host of other products, from review generation to buyer intent data and contextual advertising. So we really help marketers reach the buyers who are ready to purchase.
Nice. And what kind of products are those then? What do they look like? Is it mostly software packages?
Yep. So we offer a host of different software packages, including featured profiles and product spotlights to banner advertising and email marketing. So
when the customer gets that, we have a kind of solution for that. We have a dashboard. Can you tell us a bit about, I believe it's called the Advertiser Center, the dashboard, and how our customers can kind of relate to the first party customer insight that we provide?
Yep. So here we're just showing off our new Advertiser Center. It gives you real-time reporting on your listings in our directories. And it's really great. It's a new product we released this year, so we're super excited about it. And it helps really our customers connect with the users of the directories. They can get really great insights into their total number of profile views, clicks, and the click-through rate to their company's website and social media pages. And it really helps people get insights into how buyers in the industry are interacting with the directories they're listed in and with their company's profile.
Well, that's it. Well, I want to see this in action and see some of the effects of taking a directory listing with us and how it affects your ranking. I'd like you to kind of go over this for me. This is definitely one of my favorite discoveries of the of doing this webinar. Can you tell us what's going on with these two screenshots we have here?
Yeah, for sure. So UC Alternative is a client that we've had for many years. They have directory listing with us. Mm-hmm. And on their directory listing over the past year, they've added some reviews. And so here it really shows how reviews can have a direct impact on your search results. So on the left, UC Alternative had no reviews on their Google results page. And this was about a year ago at the start of 2020. And then a year later, with a few reviews, the third result when you search for UC Alternative was a 5-star ranking from their vendor profile on the Share Vendor directory, which is a MediaBrains directory. So you can really see how those reviews increased their search ranking and provided a lot of trust when customers look up UC Alternative on Google.
What I like about this is it's not complex to understand. You want to get more reviews, you go and get them. You want to get more exposure, you join a directory, you put the reviews in the directory together, it boosts your existing situation and pushes you up the rankings. It's very clear to see. What's going on here? I love this box on the right. I'm not a tech head, so I don't know what it's called. I think when we were talking earlier, the Google business box or something. But yes, this is certainly somewhere where we all look. And psychologically, we need these areas to be full of information for us to trust the companies that we're about to click on. So can you just describe what's happening here?
Yeah, exactly. So just like you said, it's the Google My Business box on the right. So it'll show up when you search for the assessment company, who's one of our clients, or any company who has a presence on Google. And so by adding reviews to their Share and Vendor directory profile, the MediaBrains directory site, they pop up 5 out of 5 on the right-hand side of the assessment company, which just lends a lot of trust to the assessment company's page. And it really helps them, get a customer's trust when they're searching for it.
I was leaning in there, looking at the amount of reviews. That was my leaning in pose. 18 reviews there. So you can see, once you see 5 out of 5, 18 reviews already, we've talked about this. If you have over 4 or 5 reviews, as we've shown in the stats part earlier, it validates your company. And so we can already see, 5 out of 5, 18 reviews, there's some stars. Okay. And this is all mental anchors in psychology. Unfortunately or fortunately, this is the way that we in companies have developed as users. We are used to seeing certain things, and if we don't see them now, we start to worry. If I open a website and I don't see accept all cookies come up in the bottom, then I start worrying that it's not a real website, even though it might be an extra step of effort for me to make to look at those cookies and click that. If it's not there, I'm thinking, well, why don't they have a cookie box? Why aren't they telling me something? So it's the same for looking at your Google first page. We look at that page so many times in our personal lives, in our business lives. We look at that page all the time. So if you have these signifiers, these mental anchors that validate the product, then it's absolute gold for any organization. So let's have a look. Let's have a chat, as we say in the UK. Let's have a chat, Jacob, about Business Chatter. What is Business Chatter?
Yes, so let's dive right into it. Business Chatter is our new platform that we're releasing this week. So I'll just start talking right about it. We're going to go through a small demo.
Go through some steps of what this looks like for a customer and how they operate it.
For sure. So this is going to be a small demo of the platform. And you can see here, this is our getting started page and dashboard. It's a super easy system. You can get up and running in just about a minute to start getting reviews from your customers. And one other thing to note on the dashboard is the search score on the right, which we were kind of just talking about. Mm-hmm. So Joe, if you go ahead and click to the next slide, we can take a closer look at that. So The search audit page, it really takes a deep dive into that search results page that we were just discussing, Joe. And it lets you see what your customers might see on Google when they search for your company. So it shows you where you might need to improve and how Business Chatter can help you do that. So let's go ahead and see the review page, Joe.
Oh, I like this.
So this is the main review dashboard where you can ask customers to leave you a review. So when you add a customer, we'll reach out to them for you automatically. So you can also see on the right here that we provide a link and a QR code that you can share directly with your customers, and they can leave a review using those as well. So you could put those on physical printouts in an email signature and start gathering reviews in everything you do.
So this is what we were talking about earlier. It's combining these software solutions with that base of knowledge that you have about how reviews work. So you've got the QR code now, there's your software solution, but I talked about earlier how you can place these solutions all across the process. So where are you going to put this QR code? And then once someone hits the QR code, fills out the review, that immediately goes into your directory listing, immediately adds a review, that immediately has a knock-on effect to the Google My Business. It's a full loop, and that's what I like about that. It's a full ecosystem. What happens next?
Yeah, so when a customer opens your link or opens your QR code, they'll be greeted with a custom page asking them to leave a review for your company. So it details the benefits of leaving a review. And then if we go to the next page, we can kind of see what a customer's experience looks like.
It's granular.
So it's really easy and quick for the customers. They can rate your company and leave comments about their experience. Super streamlined and very easy. We want to make it as easy as possible to leave a review for your company, for your customers.
I want to hold on this slide first because a lot of companies or a lot of spaces to leave reviews are just blank boxes and a few stars, and that's just open to interpretation. It's open to abuse as well. And how can you run data off blank text fields? I suppose you can look for keywords, for problems that are highlighted, but this is a much, we're talking about the surgical approach earlier, the emergency room versus the surgery. And this is the surgery, right? You can rate your experience, and of course, but you can look at recommendations, how likely to recommend something, and you can get more granular. You can even add things like, how did you like our this, or how did you like our that? And then you can improve that this, and you can improve that. Going forward, you can actually use your reviews to implement new KPIs, to improve processes that aren't working. You might have a sway of negative comments and reviews, and then you start using this tool, and you can kind of start filtering them out and looking at your problems in a more granular sense, and really being able to identify what are your main issues and what aren't. And then you can take those issues and you can resolve them transparently in front of customers, which is what we were showing earlier. And what happens at the end?
Yeah, so after a customer leaves a review, we kind of tell them maybe there might be some next steps. And if you go to the next page, we can actually see from your point of view what it would look like. So me as a company owner, I can see that I have 2 reviews that got left in the system. And I can also preview them, share them with my teammates, and I can even respond to them. So this really hits back on some of the earlier points that we were talking about, where interacting with your customers and replying to reviews is just as important as getting reviews in the first place. So if we take a look at the next page, you can see what happens when we either preview or respond to a review. So we can see everything in detail that the customer wrote in a very nice display, and we can share this amongst our team members, frame it if it's a great review. And then on the right, we can see how we can respond to the exact points that a customer had in their review, all in one tool. And then we can save this response. We could choose to make it public on our directory profile, and we can share it directly through this tool with our potential customer that had left the review, so they can see that we're taking action and responding to their feedback.
Of course, and this is also what companies need and love, is a span of control. It's important, especially for B2B organizations that can often be trolled or attacked externally by people that have no interest in buying your products. It's important that you have these firewalls and these safety mechanisms, and this software is a nice, simple in its delivery, but complex in how many things it can deliver for you. Solution to that problem.
Yeah, and to add on to that, Joe, we actually just had a question from the chat about how the Business Chatter platform guards against companies posting reviews for themselves.
There you go.
And we can also add on to that and say, how does it help guard against fake reviews? And the platform requires identity verification before leaving a review. And all the reviews are moderated by the MediaBrains team before they are posted on a directory profile for a company. So we will do a thorough check to make sure that it is not a company posting their own review.
Perfect.
And we can also, make sure that it's a real business-to-business customer leaving a real review. So
I think that's important because if you leave a process to be fully automated, it doesn't have the nuance when someone fills out a massive paragraph to understand fully. We're not there with the AI, the tone of that message or review. And so we have this software solution with the human touch that goes in there and moderates that piece of content. I think that's absolutely fantastic. It gives me peace of mind to know that there's a human involved in the process as well as being able just to do the usual easy software solution stuff that we're all used to implementing in our businesses. So thank you very much. Shall we hit them with a recap, Jacob?
We should.
Let's hit them with a recap. Right, so again, I'll say it, solicit reviews. By solicit reviews, I mean go and ask for them. There's nothing wrong with saying, give us a review. There's nothing wrong with saying, here's a loyalty point or something else for giving us reviews. Just don't tell them what to write. Just tell them to write, but not what to write. Display your good reviews everywhere once you have them. Show them off. You want people to read these, but follow up on your bad reviews, please, because seeing that process can actually make someone purchase your product, just seeing you solve a problem. Invest more marketing time and budget on reputation management, on improving your reviews, your referrals, and everything user generated. Create frequent opportunities, touch points to leave reviews wherever you can. And if you'd like to leave a review with us after this webinar, if you'd like to share with us what kind of webinars you'd like to see in the future, what kind of points that you enjoyed in this review webinar specifically, anything else that you'd like to add, send it to us. We will use your feedback to improve for the next time. That's how companies learn and grow. The quality review generation, reputation management is just one of the many benefits that we have of getting listed at MediaBrains. And if you're not listed already, if you're not one of our customers, you're not listed on one of our directories, then it's free to get listed. And then once you get listed, you can opt into what tools that you want to take that will increase your reputation as well as your exposure. And we have, I believe, something to offer, because I don't like to leave without offering people something. Jacob, what can we offer people?
Yes, we do. So we are super excited to announce that we're providing a special 30-day trial of our Business Chatter platform for everybody who signed up for the webinar today. So if you check your email inbox, you'll actually have a getting started link that will take you right into the Business Chatter tool set up for your company, so you can get started, get playing around with it right now. That email went out about 4 minutes ago, so it should be in everybody's inbox already. And then as our beta testers, we're ready to help and support you along the way. And we're going to keep in touch with you as you're using the tool, make sure that you're getting the most value out of it as possible, and see what we can do to improve it as you're going through it and figuring out how it works. So super excited for that.
Well, I've got a question in, a question from Cindy. So thank you very much, Cindy, for your questions. As we wrap up the session, if you have any last words, guys, please send them in now. Now is your time. How does a free listing benefit a company generally?
Yeah, so Cindy, free listing lets you have reviews on your profile, and it also just increases your company's visibility in search results. So as customers are searching for your company, a free listing with reviews will show up most likely on the first page of Google and influence the customer's buying decision. So.
Okay, and we have a few questions here regarding people's personal accounts that they have with us, and one of the tools and things that they can do. So we'll go offline and we'll speak to them about that as well, because you guys are already with us. Take this opportunity. We all love to beta test stuff. Again, leave us a review about the beta test. Tell us what you like about Business Chatter. We'd love to hear your stories. We'd love to see you guys grow, your reputation improve, and guess what? If you give us a testimonial, we're going to display it just like you should be displaying it as well. Thank you very much, Jacob, for your time today.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you very much to our audience, whether you're attending live today or whether you're catching up with this as a recording. Thank you very, very much. This is part of a series of MediaBrains. We're going to bring some super interesting marketing and business information straight to you guys through a series of webinars over the next year or two. So please tune in and watch this space for more webinars. And thank you very much, Jacob. And goodbye, everybody. Good night and good morning and everything. Goodbye.
Bye.